morning children, how are you all? I hope everyone is fine, staying at home, and this is very tough time to everyone, particularly for students. So government is started online classes for everyone, and even our teachers also, we are uploading some videos subject wise. And if you have any queries, any doubts, you can send through SMS, and again we upload our videos, we clarify the doubts and all. Okay. And today I am going to start 10th class social studies. First lesson. You all know that we have two papers, remember? So what are the two papers? Paper 1 is geography and economics, and paper 2 is civics and history. Civics and history. So today I am going to start first lesson, that is India relief features, in paper 1, that is geography. Geography, India relief features, paper 1. India relief features. First, when you know something, when you want to learn any lesson, first you have to learn the learning objects. If you know the learning objects, concept of that lesson, then it will be easy. Overall lesson you can read and you can understand. So what are the learning objects you can understand first? In this lesson, what are the learning objects we'll see? Learning objects of this lesson. So first is India and its location. What's that? India and its location. Second is geological background of India. Geological background. How it formed and all. So geological background. And next we have India relief features. So what are the relief? India relief features. What is meant by relief? It's based on the surface and all. We have, India is divided into 6 relief features. These are the 6 relief features with 6 different forms, 6 different landforms. What are that? First one is Himalayas, formed as mountains and all, Himalayas. And next is Indo-Gangetic Plains. What is that? Indo-Gangetic Plains. That means mountains, plains, and then plateaus, peninsular plateaus. Next is plateaus, peninsular plateaus. And fourth one is coastal plains. We have in India, we have long coastal plains. So coastal plains. And next, the Thar Desert. The Thar Desert. Or we can call it as Indian Great Desert. And sixth one is the islands. Like this, there are 6 Indian relief features are there. If you want, you can note it down. And next, we'll go in detail about India and its location. Okay? India and its location. See, this is the world map. We have 7 continents in the world. What are that? North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, Africa and Australia. These are the 7 continents. In the 7 continents, where India lies, the India's location of India in the world map is, this is the green thing. This is above the equator. This is the equator, and above the equator India lies. Okay, and we have a geographical location of India provides vast climatic conditions in diversity. This has led to the growth of variety of vegetation, growing many kinds of crops and all. So this is about India, and it is above the equator. You all know that generally we have 2 spheres, 0 degree longitude. This is all northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. So where India lies, it is above somewhere here. So this is above the equator. This is equator, you all know. Above the equator. That means in the northern hemisphere, India is lies with evergreen forests and all. Next we go to India's coastal line. See, this is, we are talking about longitudes and latitudes. Longitudes and latitudes. India's long coastal line. See, here in India, long coastal line. India, often we call it as India is a peninsular country. How? Because there, what is meant by peninsula? Peninsula means there are three sides water and one side landmass. That is called peninsula. Three sides covered with water and one side land, then it is called peninsula. So here east we have Bay of Bengal and west we have Arabian Sea and south it is Indian Ocean. So it is three sides covered with land and water and one side with the Himalayas. That's why India is often called as subcontinent and also we can call it as a peninsular state. Latitudes and longitudes are imaginary lines that you all know. In the previous classes you learned about latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes and longitudes are imaginary lines that used to know the exact location of the place and time difference of one country to other country and all time difference and exact location of a particular place we can know with the latitudes and longitudes. For India, there is a central longitude 82 degrees 30 inches is taken as a standard meridian which passes nearby Allahabad, which is referenced as a Indian Standard Time. That is called IST. What is meant by IST? Indian Standard Time. So, whole India we have only one time. In 1884, in the Greenwich Mean Time was adopted as international GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, as an international adapted international meridian, 0 degree longitude. Greenwich is it's a capital of England. So that was a starting point for a international time. That is called international time. And Indian Standard Time IST is ahead of 5.5 hours different ahead from the GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So generally in India, if it is 3 o'clock in the evening, then what is the time in London? You have to add up 5.5 hours. That means 8:30. That is. If it is 3 o'clock in India in the evening, then 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 and half an hour. 8:30 is the time in London. So like that there is a difference between GMT and IST, Indian Standard Time. So this is about the first India and its location. Then we will go to geological background of India. Geological background of India. This is very brief explanation I am going to give. It actually, the total landmass is in India is a total landmass of world is divided into two parts. Once upon a long time ago, and it is a process of weathering and erosion and natural process of deposition, sand, silt, dust particles and all. It was divided into two parts. Now it is after million years ago, now we have 7 continents, but before that it was only 2 parts, total world. So that is, one is Angara land and one part is called Gondwana land. What's that? Gondwana land. So Indian plateau belongs to Gondwana land. This is enough for this geological background. This information is enough for this chapter, and then we'll go to main major relief features. Next topic is major relief features. What are these major relief features? The first feature of reliefs is, one is Himalayas. What's that? Himalayas. So these Himalayan ranges are, see this picture, these Himalayan ranges are stretched from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. It is totally stretched about 2,400 kilometers. How much it is? 2,400 kilometers from west to east an arch between these three parallel ranges. These are the three parallel ranges of Himalayas, and these three parallel ranges are like this. There are three Himalaya parallel ranges. First one is, we can call it as a Greater Himalayas. What is that? Greater Himalayas. Even the Greater Himalayas, there is, we can known as even Himadri. Greater Himalayas, or we can call it as a Himadri. So these Himadri, these ranges are the highest. This Greater Himalayas consisting of highest peaks with an elevation of 6,100 meters above the sea level. How much? 6,100 meters above the sea level. And it consists of more highest peaks. It can consist of highest peaks. Greater Himalayas, there are three important points. We can call it as a Himadri or Greater Himalayas, and these consisting of 6,100 meters above the sea level. And third point is, there are highest peaks. There are highest peaks are there in these Himalayas, northern Himalayas. So what are the highest peaks? One is K2, Mount Everest, K2, Mount Everest, Karakoram, Dhaulagiri, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna. These are the important peaks of these Greater Himalayas. And these Greater Himalayas are composed by glaciers, and these Himalayas are composed by highest glaciers, and these glaciers are melting with water, and that water is source of a perennial rivers. These are the sources of perennial rivers for what? For whom? For total northern states. For total northern states, there are many more Himalaya perennial rivers are there, and their tributaries are also there. And next is the second one is Lesser Himalayas. Second one is Lesser Himalayas. What is this Lesser Himalayas? We can call it as this Lesser Himalayas, or also Himachal. We can call it as Lesser Himalayas or Himachal. And it consisting of 3,500 to 4,100 ranges is above the sea level. Above the sea level. Above the sea level. And there are some important these consisting of rugged surface and metamorphic rocks are there, uneven rocks, and importantly Pir Panjal and Mahabharata. These are the important ranges. What are that? Pir Panjal and Mahabharata ranges are very important in this Lesser Himalayas. And Lesser Himalayas we have valleys. Valleys are there. That valleys are Jammu Kashmir, Kangra Valley, Jammu Kashmir in Jammu valleys in Kashmir, Kangra valleys. These are all famous valleys are there in Lesser Himalayas. And these are well-known hill stations are there. What are that hill stations? Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet. These are the important hill stations, and these are all covered with evergreen forests. These are covered with evergreen forests. This is about the Lesser Himalayas. Next, third one is Outer Himalayas. Third one is Outer Himalayas. So what we can call it as Outer Himalayas and also Shivaliks. Outer Himalayas, or we can call it as Shivaliks. 1100 meters above the sea level. This is one more point in the outer Himalayas. Above the sea level 900 to 1100 meters, and these Himalayan ranges are different different names in different places. For example, in Jammu Kashmir they are called Jammu Hills. Jammu Hills in Jammu Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. Mishmi Hills in Himachal Pradesh. Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh. Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh. Like Kachar Hills in Assam. Kachar Hills in Assam. Like that, there are different names for these ranges and different names in different regions. And finally, the valleys between these Himachal, valleys between the Himachal and Shivaliks is called dunes. What are that? The valleys between the Himachal and Shivaliks are called dunes. Those dunes are, there are three important dunes are there. Dehradun, Kotli Dune and Kotli Dune. These are briefly about the Himalayas. Next we will go to the next relief. We will go to the next relief. That is Indo-Gangetic Plains. What's that? Second relief feature is called Indo-Gangetic Plains. So what are these Indo-Gangetic Plains? Indo-Gangetic Plains, actually before knowing this you have to know about the perennial rivers. What are meant by perennial rivers? These are lifelong, that means total 365 days water will be available in these rivers. So how these will be forming? How the perennial forms are? Perennial rivers are forming. So these Indo-Gangetic Plains, these Indo-Gangetic Plains also, they are three parts, divided into three parts. The Indo-Gangetic Plains are of three divisions. One is east, the western part. Next is the central part. And third one is the eastern part. So what are these eastern, central, western? Actually in India, this is the, here there are three, these are the Himalayan rivers flowing. So these are the Himalayas, and here this is the western part, this is the central part, and this is the eastern part. So these Himalayas, whatever Himalayan water is flowing towards these areas, here there are three big, very big perennial rivers were formed. So the western part we have the Indus River. The Indus River is the very important river. It is a perennial river and it has 5 tributaries. 5 tributaries of Indus. So what are that 5 tributaries? Tributary rivers. So you know tributary means branch, rivers, river branches. So the Indus River tributaries are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. The central part is Ganga River and its tributaries, and the eastern part is Brahmaputra River. So with this Brahmaputra River, so with these 3 perennial rivers, it is the sources for perennial rivers for the northern plain, and we have a very good alluvial forms and silts are formed. Because of that, the northern plains are most fertile lands in India. So this is the topic about Indo-Gangetic Plains, and today I am now winding up, and tomorrow next session I will start the remaining subject. Thank you.